The seed of contentment. In a small, serene monastery nestled at the foot of a tranquil mountain, there lived an elderly monk named Bhavya. His life was simple, filled with daily rituals, meditation, and a quiet connection to nature. The monastery was surrounded by a lush garden that Bhavya tended to with great care, growing a variety of flowers, herbs, and vegetables. He often told the young novices that the garden was a reflection of the heart. Just as a gardener plants seeds and nurtures them, so too must one plant seeds of wisdom and gratitude in their own heart to grow a life of contentment. One day, a young novice named Arvind arrived at the monastery, eager to learn the ways of peace and mindfulness. He had heard stories of the great wisdom of the monks who lived there and hoped to find a way to quiet his restless heart. Arvind had come from a life of constant striving and ambition. His mind was always racing, searching for the next accomplishment, the next thing to attain. Despite his success in worldly matters, he felt an emptiness inside, a longing for something he couldn't name. Upon his arrival, Arvind was welcomed by Bhavya, who smiled gently and led him to the garden. "You are welcome here, young one," Bhavya said. "The path of contentment begins with the heart, just as the seeds in this garden begin with the soil." Arvind looked around at the flourishing plants and flowers, their colors vibrant against the backdrop of the mountains. "It is beautiful here," he remarked. "But tell me, how can a simple garden teach me to find peace when my heart is filled with desires and restlessness?" Bhavya nodded thoughtfully. "A garden, like the heart, requires patience and care. Just as seeds are planted and watered, so too must the seeds of gratitude be planted in your heart. They are small, at first, but with time and attention, they grow into a rich harvest of contentment." Arvind frowned, unsure of how something as simple as gratitude could transform his restless mind. "But how do I plant these seeds? And how can gratitude change the way I feel?" Bhavya smiled and gestured to the garden. "I will show you. First, let us plant a seed together." He handed Arvind a small seed and a tiny shovel. Together, they knelt by a patch of earth, and Bhavya gently instructed Arvind to dig a small hole. After the seed was placed into the soil, Bhavya covered it with earth and watered it carefully. "Just as we have planted this seed, so too must you plant the seed of gratitude in your heart," Bhavya said. "At first, it may seem small, even invisible. But with time, if you nurture it with mindfulness and appreciation, it will grow." Arvind was puzzled. "But how do I nurture something so small? What does it mean to be grateful in a world where I still want so much?" Bhavya's eyes twinkled with understanding. "Gratitude is not about having everything you want, it is about appreciating what you already have. Begin with the smallest things. The warmth of the sun on your face, the breath you take, the food that nourishes you, the friends who support you, these are all seeds of gratitude." Over the following days, Arvind observed Bhavya as he worked in the garden. The old monk spoke little but carried an aura of peace that seemed to radiate from him. As Arvind sat by his side, he learned to be present in the moment, to focus on the simple joys that surrounded him. One morning, as they worked together in the garden, Bhavya asked, "Do you notice how the plants respond to the care they receive? They grow toward the light, and their roots stretch deep into the earth. Just as they reach for the sunlight, you too must reach for the light of gratitude in your heart. The more you nurture it, the deeper its roots will grow, and the more peace you will find." Arvind took the lesson to heart, though it was not easy at first. His mind would often wander back to the desires and distractions of the world he had left behind. But each day, he would remember Bhavya's words and practice noticing the small blessings in his life. He would wake up early to feel the cool morning air and give thanks for the new day. He would savor his meals, no matter how simple, and appreciate the nourishment they provided. He would walk the paths of the monastery, noticing the chirping of birds, the rustle of leaves, the beauty of the flowers, and the stillness of the mountain. Slowly, Arvind began to feel a shift within himself. The desires that once consumed him seemed less important, and a quiet contentment began to bloom in his heart. One afternoon, as Arvind sat in the garden, Bhavya approached him, noticing the change. "How do you feel now, my young friend?" the monk asked gently. Arvind looked up at him, a serene smile on his face. "I feel lighter. My heart is at peace, not because I have everything I want, but because I have learned to appreciate what I already have. The garden, the sky, the moments of stillness, they are enough." Bhavya nodded, his eyes soft with approval. "You have planted the seed of gratitude, and now you are beginning to see its fruits. Remember, contentment does not come from external things. It grows within you, from the seeds you plant in your heart. And just as a garden flourishes with care, so too will your heart." In the months that followed, Arvind continued to nurture the seeds of gratitude within himself. His restlessness faded, and he began to see the beauty and abundance in every moment. He understood that life was not about accumulating more, but about appreciating what was already here. He had planted the seed of contentment, and it had grown into a life filled with peace, purpose, and joy. One day, as he stood in the garden, looking at the flowers that had bloomed, he realized that the lesson Bhavya had taught him was not just about gratitude, it was about living in harmony with the present, appreciating the simple, everyday gifts that life offers. And so, Arvind became a teacher himself, sharing the wisdom of the seed of contentment with others. He taught them that by planting the seeds of gratitude in their hearts, they too could cultivate a life of peace, contentment, and lasting joy. For as Bhavya had shown him, when you plant the seed of gratitude and tend to it with care, it will grow into a harvest of happiness that nourishes the soul. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.